Hey, how you guys doing again? It's Julio again, back with another half of the tutorial for the webinar. So I did a different image on the webinar. It was a shot by Laura, and which was a great shot actually, and we retouched that one, and it was pretty good. But for this recording, I wanted to do this one instead because it deals with some background. You know, sometimes you're gonna have backgrounds that don't go all out, don't go out all the way like this one. And I wanted to show you guys how to fix those areas when you do come up with this issue. So let's get started. So the first thing I do is the same thing I did with the other one. I start off in Lightroom, and I go to the exposure, and I just bump it up just a little bit here, just about, not too much, just about, maybe, even if you want to type it in, I'll say 0.50. That's a good amount. And then on the contrast, I'll just bump it down, reduce contrast a little bit. If you want, you can go all the way and then bring it up to right about there is fine. Then I'll move to the shadows, and you can go all the way and then just kind of come down. Remember, the reason why I do this is because I'm taking away the contrast and shadows, because I like to go in and do my own contrast and shadows with dodging and burning in Photoshop, which gives the image a little bit more edgy, like an edgy pop. It's the style that I like to give all my images, if you guys ever noticed that. Okay, so this is a pretty good amount here. The whites I leave it alone, the blacks, everything else I leave alone. I don't touch none of that stuff. So what I do now is I just go down, I right click, and I'll edit in Photoshop. It's gonna come up right now. Alright, here we are. Okay, so same routine as the other tutorial, the one I did with Diana. I go to this layer and I'll double click it, and I'll name it main, just like that. And I'll hit Command J, and this is a copy that I'm going to do all my patchwork. And so what I'll do is I'll zoom in. Guys, I usually just don't retouch them too much. I don't go out and fix every wrinkle, everything. I kind of like to leave them the way they really are, because guys are guys. They're not that smooth, not like women. So I don't really do much to them as far as clean them up, if there's like see a little scar there, maybe I'll take that out. That little one, I'll take it out. But as far as like these little lines, maybe I'll take that one out. But that's about it. If there's anything like other little scars here, I'll work on those. But I don't go too far into making them look like plastic. If you want to say that. But let's see. Okay, so first things first, what I do is I make a little assessment. Okay, I could fix some of the stuff here in this background, since it has a lot of little creases and wrinkles. We can go around, fix all that. Alright, so what I do is go down to the patch tool right here, click on it, hold it. If you want to get a shortcut key is J. Just press J on your keyboard. Another short way to get to all these tools, if you hold shift, see they're all J, so if you hold shift and you just hit J, it'll scroll through all the tools in that section. So let's say you're on this tool, is it the healing brush, I think? the spot healing brush at the beginning. If you want to scroll down to the patch tool, just hold shift and hit J a couple times, and then there you go. There it is there. It's a quick shortcut key to get there instead of going over there and clicking all the time. Okay, so let's see. Let's start here at the forehead. Okay. And we'll just take that out there. Here's a little bump there. Switch here. Try to take this line out. Do that. Clean that scar up there. These little blemishes here. Here's that one. Like I said, guys are different. I don't think they need to be cleaned up as much. See these kind of like little dark areas here. What you do is you can grab this, just bring it down. It kind of lightens it up a little bit, but not too much. We'll leave all that. Maybe these here. Move down the suit, see if we see any lint. Let's grab all that. We'll fix this. Let's see if we can grab it. Sometimes it will. Oh yeah, here we go. See. Let me show you this. Let me undo this real quick, just in case you didn't catch that. So this area here, it kind of crosses between this, the edge of this chair. So what you want to do is, what I'll do is I'll get rid of the middle first. That. And then I'll get rid of this part here. Try to match, see how it's matching the chair edge. Try to match the chair edge, just like that, just like if it's a normal flow of the chair, just like that. This line here, here. There's other ways you can do this too with the stamp tool, but it's all up to you. I like to use the patch tool because it's quicker, it's just more efficient, it's faster. Because if you're working on a bunch of images, you want to move fast, but at the same time do a good job, not too fast where it's sloppy. And just want to take your time, do it right. Look around. Let me zoom out a little bit. Everything looks good on him. It's just on his hair that caught my eye. What is that? See that little, what is this here? We're gonna get rid of that. Press J for your patch tool. Yeah, that's cool. All right. So now what we do is we'll move on to the background. Just get rid of all the little major creases and distracting wrinkles. All right. And with guys, I feel like it's much easier to retouch. It moves faster than the women because you don't have to spend too much time on guys, Women, you want to make them look as best as possible. So do the guys, but but women are more. I think you have to put a little bit more effort in them, or time, I guess, to make them look really beautiful. But not so much where they don't look like themselves, but at the same time, you want to sell a good portrait. Alright, so let's go here. Oops, missed it. Just dragging it down. Circle, drag. This line, all this, drag up. See this big area? Just drag it up. And since it's a canvas backdrop, I mean, you know, they don't have to look perfect. They can look rugged and still look cool, you know. Sometimes I'll leave all the wrinkles and rough edges. See, like this spot here, kind of, your eye kind of goes there, you know, so I don't want that. We'll just kind of, yeah, there you go. Now it's good. This wrinkle there, this line here. And these areas here, I'll just zoom in really tight. Select it. Just like that. Real easy. Let's get this edge here. Right there. This is that Vanity Fair style look, you know, that I really like this look. I like the lighting. I like shooting with this type of light. Makes all the images look really nice. This crease here kind of bothers me. This one here. A little debris or dirt, whatever it is. Let's get rid of that. All right. Let's get rid of this here, right here, all this, little patches. And you know, let's go show you that when you do, if you do your own hand painted canvas, they don't have to be perfect. You know, just try to get them look as best you can, but you just gotta have it in the back of your head that, hey, I can fix some of these little blemishes or whatever they areas that are not that great or whatever. You know, you can always fix them in Photoshop. I had my kids help me out with this one, and it was pretty fun to do. I just laid it on the ground, and we all took a brush and started going to town with it. You know, it was fun. It's not really that hard. The kids could do it. You can do it. All right, so I think we're good here. Kind of like the way it's looking. Now, what I want to do is fix the edges. In some situations, you may want to just leave it like that. There's a lot of photos this style, like Vanity Fair, Annie Leibovitz style, where they just leave the edges of the backdrop showing, and that's good. But in my situation, I mean, I kind of want to fill the whole, you know, the whole frame with the canvas, which I think, to me, it looks good. So let's do that. I'm going to show you how to do that. So first thing, I'll start with this side here. And I'll go to my polygonal lasso tool. You can press L. And the same thing here. If you want to shift through these tools, just hold the shift button and press L, and you're going to shift through all of them until you find the one you like. So let's select that one. Polygonal lasso tool. We'll keep the feather here at 0. All right. And if you want to select a straight line, you just hold shift and click, and you'll get a straight line. If you want to just get a diagonal line, just let go of the shift key and then hold shift again, get a straight line, let it go, let it go, let it go, hold shift. So I'm going to select all of this. Okay, so now I got that. Now I'm going to hit copy and paste. Now you're not going to see it because it's going to look like nothing happened, but if you look on your layers here, it's right there. You see, if you hold the option key and click on this little eye, it'll hide all the other layers except the one you're clicking on. See, there it is there. See? So if you hold option key again and click on the eye, it'll bring everything back. Once again, hold the option key, click on the eye, it'll show you the layer by itself. Hold the option key, click on the eye, and it'll show everything again. Alright, so let's move this piece. Well, actually we're going to transform it. So we're going to do Command T. Oh, select your layer first. Command T. There it is. You can stretch it out. Stretch it out. You can even move it a little bit. Stretch and move. Just like that. You can even stretch it just a little bit more just to get this white out of the frame. There you go. And then we'll just fix these little areas right now. Alright, so look at that. That was easy, right? You can even move it a little bit back. There you go. Alright, so we're still on that piece layer. So let's go back to the main copy layer so we can copy this side now. Again, go to your polygonal lasso tool. You could press L for shortcut key. And let's select this whole area. Remember, if you hold shift, you'll get a straight line. Shift. Alright, there it is there. Copy, paste, copy, paste, hit Command T. And with this one, we could hit the move tool just to move it a little bit over. Just move it a little bit over right there. And then we can just stretch it up. And back out a little bit. Stretch it up and out. See this little white area here? Let's just move it. Hit the move tool again. Move it a little bit to the left. There it is. Now, we're going to fix this line right now. Real easy. Okay, so let's go to the top layer. Now we're going to make a snapshot. If you guys remember how to make a snapshot, you hold the shift key, the option key, the command key, and E at the same time. Bam. There it is right there. Snapshot right on top. Remember, it's shift, option, command, E. If you're on a PC, I think it's shift, alt, control, E. Shift, alt, control, E if you're on a PC. Alright, so let's go back to the patch tool. And let's see if we can get rid of that line with the patch tool. So we'll just select that whole area there. Try to get as best you can. And then just move it. Just Get a bigger selection. It's almost there. Yeah. Sometimes you got to do it a few times, you know, just to kind of blend things in. One time sometimes then it doesn't cut it. I'm just kind of blending in the darkness there. Making sure there's no patterns, you know, to show that you did do some patchwork. Look for patterns sometimes. That happens with when you use the patch tool. Looking around. Just make things look a little bit different. So it doesn't look like you did some cloning or patching or anything. Just go around, moving things. There you go. Just looks like a dark area of the canvas. Alright, let's move over here and do some over here. Remember, this is a canvas backdrop. It doesn't have to be perfect. The more rugged, the better. And we're going to darken it in a little bit later anyway, so just keep moving. That looks good. All right. Just little extra areas that I'm catching here, so you know, it's all up to you how far you want to go with it. Like I said, I like to take my time, but you know, let's just keep moving. All right, so this looks good. So now what I do is, since I'm happy, I do one more pass. Let me see, make sure there's nothing funky going on. And let's fix these little areas here. All right, cool. All right, it's looking good. It's looking good. All right, cool. So now what I do is, since I'm happy here, I did all my patchwork. And if you guys remember from my last tutorial, I grab everything from the bottom and I'll hit Command G to group it, and I'll name it old. Alright, so now is I'll name this layer, layer 1. Okay, so now what I do is I'll start building my template. Now in the other tutorial I showed you how to set up an action and record it, and it'll build the whole section up for you. But on this one, let's say you don't want to do an action, it's not working for you, and you just want to do it manually. Great, that's fine. That's fine too. So let's just start building it. It's real easy. We'll just work as we go. Okay, so first things first, after I name it layer 1, I'll hit Command J 2 times on this layer, and what that does, it'll copy it. 1, 2. And then I'll name the top one high, and the bottom one low. And these are going to be your frequency separation layers. So what I'll do is I'll hide the top one. I'll be selected on the low one, and then I'll go to filter. I'll go to noise, dust and scratches, and just kind of go down less, because this is a kind of it's a pull away image. I mean, the image is kind of far out a little bit. It's not up close to the face or like a up beauty shot or up close portrait, so you don't really need to blur it that much. And with this one, we're not even gonna need any smoothing on the face, but I'm showing you how to set up the template anyway, just in case if you did have a portrait of a woman this close or something, you know, then you do your frequency separation so you can smooth out the skin. But for a guy, we're not going to smooth out the skin, but we're still going to set it up anyway, just so you kind of go through the flow of how you go about setting up a template. So let's keep moving. Excuse me. Okay, so now once we did our dust and scratches filter on it, kind of smooth everything out a little bit. I'll go back to the high layer. I'll show it. Then I'll go to image. Apply, oops, sorry, not duplicate, I hit duplicate, not duplicate. I'll go to image, apply image, and I'll look for the low layer. There it is. And if you're not on subtract, go to subtract. Make sure you're on scale 2, offset 128. Leave the opacity at 100. And just hit OK. Okay, now we're gonna go up here to the blending mode, and we're gonna hit linear light. All right, so now that we're ready for that's our setup here for our frequency separation. If we wanted to smooth out the skin and stuff like that, but since he's a guy, we're not gonna do none of that stuff. So we're gonna keep going. So now what I do is I continue. I'll set up a black and white layer, and I'll bring this down, the red levels down. What that does, it shows every blemish on his face, every, you know, all the freckles and moles and scars come out, you know, and even on the background you'll see some stuff if there is. But so that's what I do, and for now we're not gonna need it, like, again, because he's a guy. We're not gonna concentrate on making him look too smooth, so we'll just hide it. And next layers are for dodge and burn, which we are going to use. So the first one, we're going to create a new layer, you hold your shift button, command, and N. Shift, command, N. It'll pop up this dialog box here, and you want to name this dodge, and you want to set the mode to overlay, and you want to click this little box here. This is fill with 50% gray, and just hit OK. Now we're going to duplicate this one by hitting Command J. Click on it. Name it burn. And that's it for that. And now we're going to set up 2 levels, layers here. Effect layers. These are called effect layers, I believe. Yeah. I forget the names for these sometimes. You know, if you know the name, send me a message. But I think it's effects layer. No, this is your effects layer, but this is your the name slipped my mind. Anyway, just go to levels, hit that, And this layer is going to be for our eye whitening. We're going to whiten the eyes with this. So what I do is I'll double click if you don't see this box up. Say if you don't see it, double click on the little icon there, the little circle, half circle there. And you're going to see this pop up here, and then just bring the right arrow all the way. Not all the way here, but just kind of enough where you see that inside white kind of get a little brighter. Don't worry about everything else. Just look at the inside white of the eye. And that's cool right there. And then make sure you're on the mask. Back on the mask, you'll see the little white box selected around it. If you're not on the mask, you'll see the white box here. You want to be on the mask. Then hit Command I. If you're on a PC, it'll be Control I. And it'll hide it. We're going to paint that white in later. And let's just name this layer Eyes. Okay, now we got that. Let's duplicate this layer by hitting Command J. And if he had teeth, we would do his teeth too, so we'll name this teeth. And that's it. This is the setup that I do. And if I were to record an action with this, all I would have to do is just be on this layer before I would set all this up and just press play, and boom, it'll set all that up all on the fly. But I showed you guys how to go about it manually, just in case, you know, some people have issues setting up actions. You can still work it this way and still get the same, you can still do the same thing, you know. So let's go, let's move. So since we're not going to soften his skin, we're just going to go straight to the dodge and burn. Okay, so we're going to dodge. Just hit the letter O on your keyboard for the dodge tool, or you can go down here and click on it yourself. However you like to do it. I like the shortcut keys. You know, right click your for your brush size. You can let's go about this size there. Okay. Keep your exposure at 3%. I like to keep a low number here because if you go too far, let's say you're at 20 something or 50, it's just too much. See that? You get these yellow edges, you don't want that. Okay, so let's keep it at 3%. That's why it's very light. And we just follow the same highlights that he's got going on already from the lighting that we did on him. So I like just to do go in a circular motion. If you're doing it with a mouse, just try to do it a circular motion and just move your way down. Don't go too white. Just go over it softly. You know, and we're gonna drop down the opacity on this layer in a bit. Let's just go over it. Let's try to get the Rembrandt's triangle out a little bit here. What I do is I'm moving a triangle way in a motion here. If you see it, I go boom, 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 till it starts coming out. There's a little jawbone here, the cheek. I mean the chin. Sorry. A little bit of the jawbone, the neckline. You can make your brush smaller and touch the little highlights here in his ear, just to give them a little pop. When you touch up with all these little details, it really does make a difference on your image. When people see it, they're like, wow, look at all that detail. Because you're making everything pop out, you know. Stuff that you don't normally see in a photograph. I mean, these light areas here under the neck, just touch on them. It just brings out the detail a little better, a little more, I should say. I like to do the clothes separately. First, I just go around and do the skin. I zoom in on the hands. And it's just gotta go over and over and over. So I start getting a nice little brightness that I like. Alright, if you kind of show and hide, go back here to your layer, show and hide, you'll see the difference. But we don't want it like that. We want to bring it down here to about 50%. I'll keep it at 48, but yeah, around this area where it's not so much. It just adds a little bit more pop to it. Okay, so now we'll go up to the burn layer. Start again on the top. Hit O for, and then if you hold your shift, if you hold your option key, it'll turn, if you hold your option key while you do it, it'll be the burn tool. See that? If you let the option key go, it'll be the dodge tool. That's another great thing to know if you're when you're working. Oops. That way you don't have to click and click and click. You can just hold option key down for burn and let it go for dodge. Hold it down for burn, let it go for dodge. But if you like to use these little ways here, that's fine too. So just click on your burn tool. I'm just trying to give you guys a little extra shortcuts, you know, to give you to make your workflow faster. Alright, so now we're way too high on the exposure. You can see that I was burning that. Look at that. We don't want that. We don't want that at all. Yeah. Alright. Just okay, so here we go. So we're back on the burn. Sorry, I got a little mixed up there when I was talking. Alright, so let's go back here, and with the burn tool we will want to keep it around 10%. Alright, so then with the burn you just burn the shadows like we did with the other image. Same thing. Let's go around the natural shadows that are there already. Don't try to create any new ones. It'll look funky. You can even go here down the jawline, make it stand out a little better. The eyebrows maybe, a little bit. I don't think that's it for that. Let's just bring it down. See the difference a little bit? I don't like it like that. Should reduce it about 60%. Yeah, that's cool. Alright, so now I want to kind of move to the suit. I'll go back to the dodge tool. And with clothes, especially a nice suit like this, it's got a nice shine to it, nice highlights that are really fun to kind of bring out. So I'll go back to the dodge tool. You can hit O and shift O if you want to cycle through till you find it. The dodge tool is that little, it looks like a lollipop. The burn tool is the little hand looking thing there. But we want the dodge tool. Alright, with the dodge tool, with the close, I like to go a little up on the exposure, so maybe about 30%. Let's see if that'll, yeah, see, that's nice. And I'm just touching it. Make your brush a little smaller. We can probably even go a little bit less, maybe 25%. Just touch these little edges. Just touch and move. Nice little highlights. Just bring them out a little bit. It really makes a difference on the image. It really, really does. And then, you know, take your time with this, you know, because if you really want to make an image pop, just take your time with it. It's like painting. It's like painting a picture. Well, you actually are painting it. See that? Just add a little bit more here, here, down here. Can even bring some of these out. Detail down here. And these. All this little stuff adds a little bit more detail to the picture. Bring out the shine in the shoes and the socks. Shirt. Nice shine there. This show and hide. See that? We can even bring it down a little bit. That's good. It's really good. Okay, now I think we're good there with that. Now we can, same thing, burn some edges. We can burn some shadows. You can go hold shift and press O until you get that little hand. Or you can click here and get the burn tool. Make your brush a little bit bigger. And now just go over the shadows. I just like to go over the big shadows, not the crease, the little creases. Just the big ones. Just add a little bit more depth in there, you know. Like that. I think we're good there. Here. Show hide. Alright, so I think we're good with the dodging and burning. Now we can move up to the eyes. Click on the eyes layer. Zoom in. Really tight. Make sure you're on your mask here. Now press your brush tool. You can hit B for brush tool on your keyboard. Right click, make it smaller. And just tap. I like to just tap. Tap on the catch light, bring that out. Tap on the inside. Tap on that catch light. Inside, just a little bit of the white, just like that. Show and hide. Let's bring the opacity down, probably 50%, maybe a little bit less. Let's see, a little bit more. Let's zoom out. Just want a little pop. You don't want that. That's too much. Okay. Want just a little pop, a little gleam in the eye. That's it. Now he does not show any teeth, so we don't have to worry about that. Now I think I'm pretty happy with this. Now what I want to do is make a snapshot. Go all the way to the top. Make a snapshot. If you remember, Shift, Option, Command, E. Alright, now let's group everything from the bottom down. You click on this teeth layer, click on the, while you hold shift, click on the bottom layer and it'll select everything and just hit Command G and we'll name it old. And I like to do this because sometimes I'll do a whole retouch, I'll get to the final one and I'm like, oh, I don't really like it, or something's wrong with it, or I'll just go back to one of these old folders and I'll work my way up again. Alright, so I'll go back to the top. And with this, we're going to go straight to Exposure X. So go to your filter, Alien Skin. If you have it, if you don't, go download it. Go to Alien Skin, I believe, and download a free trial. It's really cool. Now it's going to bring up all these presets. There's a whole bunch that you can pick from. You know, you can get sometimes get lost with this stuff because there's so many cool ones. You know, I don't know which one to pick. You know, like, oh, this one looks good. Well, this one looks good. So it's all it's all on you, on the kind of look you want. That looks cool right there. I like this. See, this was a preset that I saved before, so I'll pick that one. Well, we'll come back to that one. Let's just say you don't have, you know, this is one that I created, but they have a whole bunch that they provide that are really nice too. I always start off in the color fading area and work my way down. Let's see. Let's see, and these are like all the ones that they have. These are nice down here. Really cool. Oh, look at that. I like that. And say you get one of these grainy ones, like they add a lot of grain sometimes to these, but the effect is still cool. You can select one. Say you like that one, but it's really grainy. You can just select it and go down to the grain area. You see grain, and just bring the thing down. It'll get rid of the grain, but still give you that look. Then I'll go back up, and the overall intensity, just kind of bring it down. Just like that. And I'll start playing around with these sliders. It's too much. Kind of like I like it a little bit contrast, a little bit more contrast. Just like that. Sharpening I don't touch. I'll sharpen later in with Nik software. Cool. The color filter cyan for this one. Let's see. Yeah, cyan will work best for this one to give it that cool. Or you can go cooling too. Cooling's good. It'll give it that blue feel, but let's see. Let's try cooling. Just bring it down. Just add a little bit of that blue tint. And you see his face a little, to me it looks a little bit too red. Like the red colors are there too much, a little too strong. So I'll go down to the color saturation here and bring down the red a little bit. See, if I bring it down a lot, it takes all the red out. I just want to bring it down a little bit. I like my images a little bit desaturated than saturated. It gives it more of a film look to me. Like a scene from a movie or something. Yeah, just bring it down right there. Just a little bit. The tone curve, I just kind of scroll down, see if I like anything. If not, I'll just go back up to the normal, the neutral. And I'll try to make my own here, just kind of, if I didn't find one that I liked, you know, just I'll mess with the little sliders. And it's all in your eye. Just start building up your creative eye, your artistic eye with this stuff. don't go too far, you know, just kind of slowly, you know, play with these sliders. Don't overcook your images, like I say sometimes. And I'm guilty of that too. I do it sometimes. Split toning, it'll add like an extra pop to your image. It's like, look at that cool blue it adds there. I just scroll through these. That one's cool right there. Aquamarine orange. Go back out. I didn't select it, sorry. There it goes. Aquamarine orange and orange. It's pretty cool. I like that. And you can bring the strength down if you like. Alright, so that's looking good. Vignette. Vignettes are good for backdrops like this. So I'll bring it down. You see how if you bring it to the right, it'll darken the edges. If you bring it to the left, it'll whiten them. Just want to darken it a little bit. It'll keep the focus on him, and it'll darken all these areas here that we were kind of retouching earlier. And if you click on this little target and put it, just follow the highlight of his forehead, because that's where the light's hitting him, and just bring it down to maybe about here and just click it. And what it does, it'll add a nice little spotlight on him and it'll darken the edges there. And you can just bring the slider down if you want to darken him in more. You want to make it look natural though. Just a little bit. Just like that. It looks really cool. This other stuff, I don't mess with the texture, light effects, none of that. Don't play with that. I suggest you don't. The grain, I'll add just a little bit of grain. What I do is I go all the way to the edge and just bring it down. About there's good. And then look, and then now what I do is I like what I did. I like everything. I like the way this looks. And if I bring in another image from this same photo shoot with the same backdrop and everything, and I don't want to have to go through all this stuff again, I'll just save this as a preset by clicking this plus sign up here. And I'll name it, I don't know, name it whatever you want. I'll name it male setup. And I'll create a new one, and I'll call it green backdrop or something. You name it whatever you want. And right here you give a description. You just call it Vanity Fair Style. And just hit OK. And then it saves it down there, so when you do have to bring in more images from this shoot, you could just go down there and click on it. Alright, so now we hit apply. It's processing right now. Now we go to this eye and we'll show and hide it. See the difference? So what I'd like to do is I'd like to make a blend of the original and the one we just did. I'll just bring down the opacity to maybe 70, yeah, 75, 77%. I like this. So now that I'm all done, I'm very happy with this image. I'm loving it. Everything's cool. I'll make one more snapshot by holding Shift, Option, Command E, and then I'll add my sharpening to it by going to Filter, Nik Collection, Sharpener Pro 3. if you hold your space bar, you'll get that little hand and you can move your image around. And this top slider here, the output sharpening strength, I'll just bump it up a little bit. And the structure too, bump it up a little bit. And bring it down. Right there is good. Hit OK. Now if you zoom in, show and hide, show, hide, show. So let's bring down the opacity, kind of blend them two together right there. Just give it a nice little grainy or sharpened feel. Looks good. And now that I'm all done, what I do is I'll just flatten the whole thing by holding Shift, Command E. Now we're not making a snapshot on this one. This one's different. Shift, Command E, and it'll flatten everything. And just get rid of that. And that's it. The image is done. Guys, when you retouch images of guys, it's much faster than women. Because you save a lot of time when it comes to the face softening, the skin softening and all that. But at the same time, you gotta make it look good. So there you go. There goes another tutorial. Hope you learned something on this one too, and I hope that I'm helping you out with these tutorials. And like I said, if you have any questions, go ahead and send me a message or an email. And I'll get back to you with any, with any help that I can. All right. Hope to see you guys soon on some images that you post up. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.